What if you could just opt out of the current internet? I don't mean just logging off. I mean, what if you could build a brand new physical network up in the sky, totally free from the control of any government or big tech company? Well, that is the wild idea at the very heart of a white paper we're going to break down today. It's a plan for one of the most radical visions you might ever come across, a decentralized society literally hovering in the clouds. Right out of the gates, the authors of the OpenAirShips white paper do not pull any punches. They lead with this incredibly stark declaration. For them, this isn't some abstract problem about slow internet or annoying ads. No, they see the very infrastructure of our digital world as a weapon, one that's used to control and suppress people. And that is the problem they've set out to solve. And this really is the core question that drives their whole project. If you genuinely believe the entire system is broken, that it's designed from the ground up to keep you in line, what do? Well, their answer isn't to try and fix it or protest it. It's to abandon it completely and build something new from scratch.
To really wrap your head around the solution they're proposing, we first have to see the world through their eyes. We need to understand the problem as they define it, which, to them, is a global system of absolute control. The paper doesn't just talk in generalities. It points a finger at a specific list of players. It accuses these governments and corporations of working together to create what it flat out calls a dystopian nightmare. They argue this is done through censorship, surveillance, and manipulation, effectively killing privacy and freedom for all of us. Okay, so if that's the diagnosis, a pretty bleak one, what's the cure? Well, this brings us to the core concept of the whole project. You leave the ground behind and you create an entirely new network, physically floating up in the sky. Now pay close attention to the wording here, a new physical network. This isn't just another encrypted app or some new piece of software. We're talking about a plan for completely new hardware, new infrastructure, all of it built on principles that are the exact opposite of the current system: decentralized, private, and in theory, impossible for the old guard to control. So, this huge vision isn't just wishful thinking. The paper actually lays out a pretty detailed technological plan, and it all rests on three distinct but interconnected pillars that are designed to work in concert to make this new world a reality. So pillar number one is the network itself, a peer-to-peer mesh network. The easiest way to think about it is this. Right now, your data goes from your phone to a cell tower to a central server somewhere. In a mesh network, your device connects directly to other devices around it, forming this huge interconnected web. What that really means is there's no central point of failure, no single server you can shut down to censor information. The OpenAirShips network would use something called ultra-wideband radio, because the whole point is to create its own independent physical network. And the authors are completely clear-eyed about how revolutionary this is. They state very directly that this kind of network would be straight up illegal under current FCC rules in the US. So this isn't some theoretical challenge. It means from day one, anyone operating a node would be in direct conflict with federal law. But the paper doesn't see this as a bug. It sees it as a feature. They actually frame it as civil disobedience for profit, baking a financial reward directly into an act of rebellion. This brings us to pillar number 2, and where the project gets its name. I mean, if you're building a physical network that can't use the ground, where do you put all the hardware? The answer, for them, is airships. The paper makes the case that this is the fastest, cheapest, and most efficient way to get these mobile network nodes up and running all over the world. And this is where you see just how deep their commitment to self-sufficiency goes. The plan is to literally build these airships using the most common stuff on the planet. You harvest hydrogen from water to provide lift, you capture carbon right out of the atmosphere to build the structure, and you pull nitrogen from the air to use as a safety buffer. The design philosophy behind the ships is just as radical. The plans would be open source, they'd be modular for easy repairs and upgrades. And here's the kicker. Every single component is designed to be 3D printable by other airships. This creates a system that can, at least in theory, build and repair itself, all while running on cheap, off-the-shelf hardware like Raspberry Pis. All right, so you've got the network and you've got the vehicles, but what actually makes it all run? What would motivate people to build this new world? That's the third and final pillar, a blockchain that acts as the economic and governance engine for the entire system. But this isn't your typical cryptocurrency. The paper lays out a system where the very definition of mining gets expanded to mean any useful contribution to the society. You could earn currency by flying someone somewhere, 3D printing a part for another ship, growing food, creating art, or even just by participating in the system's governance and voting. It's not just an economy, it's an economic model for an entire civilization. So, when you combine these three pillars, the mesh network, the self-printing airships, and this all-encompassing blockchain, you start to see the project's ultimate goal. And it's not just about building a new internet. It's about launching a self-replicating future that can eventually outcompete the old world. And this really reveals their core strategy. They're not trying to fight the existing systems head-on. The idea is to grow so fast that the old systems just become irrelevant. The entire plan is engineered for one thing: logarithmic, or you might know it as exponential, growth, spreading across the globe so fast it can't be stopped. And this is how they imagine that growth playing out. The first few small airships act as flying 3D printers, working together to build larger, more capable ships. Those new ships then become even better printers, able to build more ships even faster. The result is this exponentially expanding swarm of creation and network coverage.
And what's the ultimate purpose of this massive, almost science fiction level undertaking? The white paper ends with this simple, powerful, and incredibly ambitious statement. The goal is nothing less than a complete paradigm shift for human civilization, all built on a foundation of absolute freedom.